Hello, this is Grace Robison, and I'll be doing my screencast about the legal industry. So currently, as the economy continues to improve, the industry will continue to benefit, specifically in the corporate and real estate sectors. And then as the technology and healthcare sectors begin to boom, there's going to be a need for specialized law in those specific areas. And right now, we're seeing a decrease in corporate litigation because firms and large businesses are having in-house counsel do the litigation rather than outsourcing. So currently, industry revenue is projected to increase at an annualized rate of 0.6% to $310.4 billion over the next 5 years. And this is driven by corporate profit, initial public offerings, number of businesses, like I said, the economic growth that we're experiencing, and then obviously the crime rate currently. But also as new laws and regulations continue to come out, revenue growth is encouraged. This graph here, this handy dandy graph, just shows how much of law is within the corporate sector. So commercial law services account for 44.2% of the revenue in the legal industry. Thanks, Ibis World. And then the second most, surprisingly to me at least, was 25.5% was other services. So I can imagine that being more specialized law. So I think it's important to mention that law, although a lot of it seems corporate, their 25.5% is more specialized. Key skills. So these were listed by Ibis World. They have like 250 businesses and skills or something that go with specific industries. All of these felt decently obvious to me. Ability to effectively communicate and negotiate. Yeah. And then all of these have to do, or a lot of these have to do with the need for a good pedigree within law. So having a high prior success rate, having a good reputation, experienced workforce. So I feel like all of these three work together. And then hopefully a possession of accurate information. That felt obvious, and I don't understand how that's a key skill, but yeah. Currently, technological advancements, there's a medium increase, not super groundbreaking. A lot of it has to do with computer processing systems. These two right here are the largest that you see in the law industry. Westlaw and LexisNexis, they're paid for. They're basically like large filing systems for court cases, and yes, all of that. Right now, we see an increase in the virtual law practice because there's no need to actually be in person with the people that you're advocating for. You can communicate over the internet, and if your documents are all accessible through Westlaw and LexisNexis, then it becomes even easier for you to practice law virtually. This has caused an issue actually because there's cheap online solutions for certain standard legal documents, so there's no need to pay for them anymore, which causes a decrease in wills, trusts, and estates specifically. So globalization, everywhere's globalizing. Right now, the globalization is low, but it's increasing, which I would expect as internet becomes more a part of the legal industry. And as markets overseas become larger and larger, there's going to need to be connections and people that represent certain companies everywhere. And then right here kind of confirms that as well, because there's going to need to be a greater reach. These resources are really helpful, and they're kind of fun. The American Bar Association is obvious. It's the standard for all lawyers currently, and there's a lot of not really interesting information actually on the American Bar Association website. But this website is super cool because it has a lot of information for aspiring lawyers and young lawyers, which is nice and helpful. But this one was probably my favorite to look at. It's free through Vanderbilt. I think otherwise it's powered by LexisNexis, so I'm pretty sure there's a paywall. But it does a good job of parsing the information into small bits, and that way you can pick law based on the sector, and you can look up specific information about it versus this one. It was very vague, and it all came at you at once. So that's it, and all of my information was from Ibis World, and thank you for listening.